Billions of dollars are being invested in communities around the nation as part of the Biden administration's bipartisan federal infrastructure law. But with so much need all over the country, how will the areas that need it get it, especially rural communities? Well, joining me now is United States Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg. Thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate your time. And I understand a portion of the federal infrastructure plan will be distributed via a more traditional formula method to determine where it goes and who gets it. But there is a percentage that will go directly to rural communities through grants. Talk about that opportunity for rural areas.
So we're working to make sure that every opportunity that exists in this infrastructure bill is available to rural communities, some of which were left out in the past. And that means not only having those traditional formula dollars move through, but having sets of funding that are specifically set aside for rural communities to apply for. We've got $300 million going out right now in a rural surface transportation program. We got another grant program where there's a 25% minimum for rural, but actually, as we were choosing projects last time around, we almost doubled that, and 44% of the projects actually went out to rural communities because we're seeing so much of a need there. Sure. You know, not long ago, I was in Tell City, Indiana, Perry County, right on the Ohio River, looking at where we were able to use port dollars to help there. You know, usually when you think about port funding, you're thinking about those big coastal ports in LA or Long Beach or Newark, and those are very important. But equally important is making sure that we're supporting the river commerce that is such an important part of our economy. In this particular case, helping to move crude iron or pig iron off of barges and up to a foundry nearby, supporting about 1,000 jobs. These are the kinds of investments that we want to be making in communities of all sizes and taking steps to make sure that no rural area or rural community is left behind.
Well, talk about how these communities can tap into that money. What's the criteria here? I know you have a playbook available for them, but what's the criteria that will allow these communities to tap into that money?
That's right. We've released a rural playbook that's available through my department's website to help make it clear for communities on how to apply. And we're looking for community leaders to step up with great projects that they think are going to make a difference. They're going to help make it safer, more sustainable, that are going to help create jobs and support all the other kinds of things with regard from equity to innovation that matter in terms of good infrastructure investments. We've seen time and time again how there are great ideas coming from local communities, not from here in Washington. We just got to make sure there's more funding here in Washington to help them with. And we're trying also to make the process a little more user-friendly. There can be a lot of requirements, a lot of red tape when you come in looking for federal funds. We're working to simplify that process so that counties, towns, and states that have rural communities as part of their plans are able to access those funds and put them to use.
That sounds like a great idea, but I imagine there's a lot of competition there between, you know, all the communities around the country that need this money. How can a community stand out? What advice do you give them in trying to get this money, to get this help to build their infrastructure?
Well, we're going to make the criteria very clear, and you're right, often this is very competitive. We got a lot of funding, but the need is so great. We're still going to have to prioritize projects. I'll tell you some of the ones that are going to make the cut, I think, will be ones that demonstrate their economic power to help make a community better off, ones that have those safety or sustainability or equity enhancements that are going to make a project really help set us up for success in the future. Look, the things we're building across the 2020s, these are pieces of infrastructure that will probably be with us for the rest of our lives. So we're planning for the long term, and this process is going to reward communities that have a vision, yes, for the immediate need, but for how to meet that immediate need in a way that's going to make sense for years and even decades into the future. We need to make sure that infrastructure is one of the reasons why a future generation chooses to stay in the communities where they were raised. I talk to too many parents, too many local leaders who fear that their kids, their grandkids, won't be able to thrive in the communities that produce them. Part of how we change that story is to make sure that we're investing in those communities with great streets, with safe crosswalks, with good rail, even airports, which can be important in rural areas as well as urban, to make sure that there's economic vitality, to connect everybody to the rest of the country so that you can thrive no matter where you live.
Well, Mr. Secretary, we appreciate your time very much today. Before we leave, real quickly, tell folks in our rural areas here how to access that playbook so they can get more information.
So you can go online to build.gov, or you can look at the Department of Transportation website to learn more. I would also encourage anybody who's interested in this to get in touch with your local leaders. We're going to be making grants to states, to cities, to towns, to counties, to local transit authorities and agencies and port authorities. And so it's really going to be up to the local leaders to put together those applications. And they're going to listen to what residents at home have to say. So if you're tired of a certain bridge being out or load limited and you got to drive around it and that adds half an hour to your ability to get to the store or be able to get to school or get to work, let somebody in your local leadership know, because that'll help them make the right choices about what to apply for with us here in Washington.
I think what you just said piqued a lot of interest in our area. We have a lot of places around here like that. So Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg, thank you so much for spending some time with us today. We appreciate this information.
Thank you. Great being in touch and good to be on with you.
Thank you.